This morning, he wrote, "Today we honor the immortal heroes who landed at Normandy 80 years ago. The men of D-Day will live forever in history as among the bravest, noblest, and greatest Americans ever to walk the earth. They shed their blood, and thousands gave their lives in defense of American freedom. They are in our hearts today and for all time," which I agree with and would even be somewhat moved by had he not 12 hours earlier posted, "What I've gone through, no one has ever gone through. I have been under siege."
Because Jimmy Kimmel has been throwing punches at Donald Trump, there has been a commotion in the world of politics as a result of this. It is abundantly clear that Trump handled the situation in an unsatisfactory manner, as you most likely anticipated. In the beginning, we're going to go into the comedy and the humiliation that took place. Kimmel does not hold back when he makes it a point to point out how stupid Trump's dreams are in light of all the data that contradicts them. He doesn't hold back. It's almost funny to see how Trump and his supporters like to make up stories about how they won the election after they have already won. The chaotic reign of Donald Trump, who is notorious for repeatedly undermining democracy in order to feed his ego, is characterized by this unwillingness to accept the truth, which is a distinguishing aspect of the reign. The fact that Trump appears to have no regard for the law is made very evident by this particular instance. Not only does he admit to perhaps operating in a manner that is contrary to the terms of his parole, but he is also flaunting his absence from confinement. The norms and laws that apply to everyone else do not apply to Trump, which is a classic example of Trump's behavior. It is quite evident that he has a complete lack of regard for the justice system as a result of his arrogance in maintaining a pistol, despite the dangers that it poses to him legally given the circumstances.
Trump has 3 guns registered in his name, and he doesn't even know how to hold one. You can see, look at this guy. You can see his light flashing before his eyes. And then he's got a handgun. He's got a Glock there, which is, that's the same face he made when he held Eric for the first time.
On the other hand, Kimmel's comparison is completely accurate. The arguments that Trump presents are just as weak as his legal defenses, which are also rather weak. Both his irresponsibility and his lack of concern for national security are abundantly clear in the scandal involving classified information, which serves as an excellent example of any of these 2 characteristics. An attitude of denial, resistance, and dishonesty is consistently used to tell the story of Trump. This is the case regardless of the context. The infinite nature of Trump's delusions and paranoia is brought to light by Kimmel's humorous act, which calls attention to a matter of serious concern. It is important to take into consideration his ridiculous assertions that windmills are the root cause of cancer. At this very moment, it is highly probable that he is getting himself ready to deal with imaginary security concerns. When one takes into account the fact that this particular guy had previously been in charge of the nuclear codes, it is both ludicrous and terrifying.
And another impact of these many felony convictions is he loses his license to carry a concealed weapon, which, if you think about it, it's pretty crazy. A guy who's not allowed to carry a concealed weapon would be allowed to carry a nuclear weapon.
As a result of this, it is very evident that folks who support the MAGA movement are hypocritical, in spite of the fact that they are the ones who are screaming the loudest about a system that is rigged. The fact that Biden's own child is treated properly makes it rather apparent that there is no manipulation taking place. The people who are in favor of Trump need to come to their senses and acknowledge the reality that the claims that their leader has made are just as empty as the promises that he has made. Taking a jab at Don Jr. is not only relevant, but also fully deserved by Kimmel. The Trump family has constructed its story on the basis of a foundation that is comprised of lies, conspiracies, and secrets.
The one that got all the attention today was in Delaware. The high-profile trial of Hunter Biden ended badly for Hunter. He was found guilty on all 3 counts. Hunter now faces up to 25 years in prison. The sentencing date has not been set. Maybe they should, you know what? They should let Trump and Hunter sentence each other. Wouldn't that be fun?
Hunter Biden is being subjected to significant fines at the same time that Trump continues to dodge accountability. This reveals a great deal about the current circumstances. It is important to note that the distinction is noteworthy because it brings to light the fact that the integrity of the legal system is preserved in spite of the persistent attacks that Trump makes. This analogy that Kimmel uses to characterize Trump's legal mistakes, which were previously unheard of, is an excellent illustration of the scenario that we are currently facing. The number of criminal charges that Trump has been charged with is unprecedented. The presence of this trait is characteristic of a criminal who frequently breaks the law, putting the legitimacy of the presidency and our democratic systems in jeopardy. Not only is he an anomaly, but he also exhibits the traits that are associated with a criminal, in no manner denoting the presence of a leader. The conclusion that Kimmel arrives at is that there is a relationship between the collapse of Trump and a wide variety of political concerns across the board. It is important to bring to light the fact that DeSantis' censorship in Florida is highlighted because it brings to light the fact that Trump's legacy is not only comprised of his criminal acts, rather, it is comprised of the long-term damage he has brought to the educational system and political debate. The democratic values that are widely practiced in the United States serve as a reminder of the need to maintain vigilance. In view of the fact that other serious charges are on the horizon, the convictions that Trump is currently facing are simply the beginning of the prosecution to be brought against him. The fact that his legal problems have not yet been handled is glaringly clear in the present day. Because of his obvious disregard for the law, it is abundantly clear that he is not qualified to hold public office. The drama that never seems to end is evidence of this blatant disregard for the law. The fact that he is even considering running for president once more is a smack in the face of the democratic system that exists in the United States of America. Trump is attempting to portray himself as a martyr, which is an absolutely absurd notion. The fact of the issue is that justice is relevant to all individuals, but it is especially applicable to those individuals who violate the law in such a heinous manner. The fact that his actions have continually damaged the fundamental fabric of our nation is something that he is ignoring in this desperate endeavor to galvanize his base of support. Attempting to rally his fans in this manner is a last-ditch effort. It is an attempt at desperation that he relates the story about being a victim from his perspective. It has come to light that the disarray and instability that surround Trump's legal defenses have been brought to light as a result of Kimmel's disparaging remarks directed at Trump's attorney. It is clear that Trump's case is weak from the fact that his own legal team is having a difficult time defending him. Taking this into consideration, it is clear that the claims that have been brought against him are of a severe kind. Trump, in his role as the ringmaster of this circus, is taking everyone else down with him, just as he is getting down himself. As a result, he is bringing everyone else down around him. The most destructive aspect of Kimmel's argument is the conclusion that he draws at the end of everything. One of the most shocking examples of how far our political system is degenerated is the possibility that Donald Trump, who has been convicted of a felony, might still run for president. This is one of the most shocking examples. The problem that has to be addressed is the fact that the Republican Party is willing to protect a criminal to the exclusion of their own country. At this juncture, the issue is no longer directly related to Trump. It is absolutely necessary for each and every citizen living in the United States of America to come to the realization that this is a wake-up call and to request that their leaders improve their performance. Interested in joining the fight to keep democracy alive and keep fascism out of the White House? If you are someone who is tired of the lies and flat-out disgusting behavior of certain politicians, join our mission by sharing this video and channel with everyone who needs to see the truth. Subscribe, hit that like button, and send this video to everyone who believes that nobody is above the law. The truth will always prevail. Stay calm, subscribe, and vote.